Good morning, students. Today we are going to start our new chapter, that is why do we fall ill. In this chapter we will study about the health and how do the diseases cause, what are the factors responsible for causing any disease, how we can prevent the disease. So first we will discuss what is health. How you can say that this person is healthy. A person is said to be healthy when the person is socially, mentally and physical fit. Overall well-being of a person is said to be as a healthy person or health. Health is a state of complete mental, physical and social well-being. Okay. So next is what is the significance of the health? If you are very healthy, then definitely you can work very efficiently. You can do your work very properly. You can do your work very effectively, very efficiently. Okay. And if you are very again the significance of health is you can tolerate the high pressure of social and mental. You can tolerate the you can tolerate the social and mental pressures easily if you are healthy. You can live a life in a very joyful ways if a person is healthy. So these are the significance of being healthy. Next, next we will study the personal and community health issues. So definitely the community affects an individual health. If the community and the external environment supports an individual, then definitely a person is will be healthy. Okay. So it refers to the maintenance, protection and improvement of overall well-being of the whole community. If the whole community supports an individual, it will the individual will be definitely healthy. So various factors that affects the individual health are as follows. First, social environment. Okay. Social environment means our physical environment is decided by our surroundings. Okay. So the place where we live, either it's a village or it's a town or it's a city. So definitely that is our social environment. That is play an important role in an individual health. Wherever he is living, in a village or in a city. Okay. Next, public cleanliness. Definitely, sir, it is a very important function. If any person is living in a very clean area, very neat and clean area, very hygienic area, definitely the probability, or you can say the chances of getting ill is very low. And if a person is living in a very dirty area or where the drains are choked, definitely the viruses and bacteria will be more there, and definitely the chances of getting ill is more in that dirty areas. So public cleanliness is very important factors. The drainage system should be there. There should be a neat and clean environment. These all supports our individual health. Next, good economic conditions and job. If the person or individual is economically sound, is having a good job, he is having a good economic condition, definitely he will earn more, and if he will earn more, so he is getting more opportunities for being healthy. He will eat good food. He will maintain its health more well as compared as to the poor people. No. Next, the social equality and harmony. This is also again an important factor. This social equality and harmony means in order to keep ourselves healthy, we need to be happy. For this, we should maintain a very good relationship, or you can say very healthy relationship with others. We should not misbehave with others. We should not fight with others. That definitely, if we are having a mental peace, then that supports our built up our more more mental health. Okay. And I told you a person is said to be healthy when a person is physically, mentally and socially fit. No. So next we will study about the distinctions between healthy and disease free. Okay, now we will study about healthy and disease free, the differentiation between healthy and disease free. Hope you all are writing with me. Okay, along with the video I am sending the photographs of this boards too. Okay, hope you all are writing and completing your notes. Next, healthy. I told you from the beginning, a person is said to be healthy when a person is physically, mentally and socially fit. The state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. A disease-free means absence of discomfort or dearrangement of our body parts and the function. The person is said to be as disease free. Means the suppose I am disease free, but I am having the tension in my mind. Okay, so that is, and then I can say I'm just disease free. I'm not healthy. Okay, so healthy is when a person is very happy in a very the person of physically he is disease free also. The person has not any physical illness, or he's mentally also very happy. He's not depressed at all. He's mentally very happy. Socially also well-being. All are talking to that person. He's socially also he is very fit. Then a person is said to be healthy. Disease-free means a person has not having any disease. Okay, that's it. Okay. So as the state of absence of discomfort or rearrangement, the body and the body parts and their functions. It depends upon, now second point, it depends upon individual as well as the physical and social and environmental factors, societies and communities. That I told you that being a person, if a person is healthy, then economical conditions, the social conditions, the community factors, all are responsible for this state of well-being. Whereas it is related to the individual only. If a person is disease free only, that is related to this person only. Next, a healthy person will be disease free. The healthy person will be definitely disease free because he is having all the criteria fulfilled. He is physically fit, he is mentally fit, he is physically, mentally and socially fit. Whereas a disease free person can be healthy, or maybe he is not healthy. Healthy person is energetic and able to perform as per requirement. He is very energetic. He will do each and every work of its own. Performance of disease-free person depends upon environment and personal attitude. Okay. So this is the differentiation between healthy and disease-free. Next, we will study about the disease and its causes. Students, next we will study about diseases and its causes. So diseases, what do you mean by diseases? Simply discomfort or feeling unhealthy. Diseases refers to the condition that disturbs or modifies normal functioning. No, you will feel any discomfort, uneasiness. So that definitely disturbs your normal functioning of your body. In the presence of diseases, the functioning or appearance of one or more body system may change. Definitely, if you are having any disease, so functioning definitely change, and appearance also also get change of your body. Redness occurs, sometimes swelling occurs, sometimes rashes occurs. So different changes will take place if you are having any disease. So these changes rise to signs and symptoms of the disease. You can diagnose a disease by observing the signs and symptoms of the disease. So first, for diagnosis of a particular disease, you should know what do you mean by signs and what do you mean by symptoms. Okay. So symptoms, the disease that are indications that we feel being wrong or unusual. Okay, if you are feeling unusual, or you are feeling discomfort, or you are feeling uneasiness, okay, such as cold, headache, loose motions, these indicates there may be a disease, but they do not exactly indicate what the disease is. You are having a cold, you are having a cough, you are having this headache, so loose motion. So any disease can be there, no? Like if you are having a headache, so definitely the basic reason of headache is meningitis. But if you are suffering from headache, it doesn't mean that you are suffering from meningitis. Maybe due to the stress, the headache is there. Due to the excessive tension, the stress or tension, the headache is there. So symptoms can't tell about what from which disease you are suffering from. Anything is getting wrong in your body. If you are feeling discomfort, means anything is there, something is there that is not a normal functioning of your body. That only a symptoms can indicate. Okay. Whereas signs is more accurate. The other disease give more definite indication or more accurate indication of the presence of a particular disease. They help the doctors to diagnose a particular disease. While when the doctors see the signs, they can easily tell you from which disease you are suffering from. So So basically there are two types of disease. First is acute and second is chronic. Now next we will see that. Study about acute disease and chronic disease. Acute disease means the diseases which last only for a short period of time. In the short period of time only individual will get well soon. But in case of chronic disease, the disease which lasts for a long period of time, as much even as much as a lifetime. Some chronic disease will be remain for the lifetime. They do not cause any harmful effects on the human health. They do not damage in this acute disease. They do not damage any parts. They do not damage any body parts, or they do not cause any severe damage to any body parts. But in the case of chronic disease, they cause the drastic long-term effects on the human health. They will cause the severe damages to certain organs or to the human health. These diseases of the patients recover completely after the cure. But in this case, the patients are generally not recovered completely. Okay. So the examples of chronic acute disease are common cold, cough, etc. Whereas chronic disease examples are diabetes, cancer. Okay. So next we will study what are the causes of disease. Okay students, now we will study the causes of diseases. So causes of diseases are of two types, immediate cause and contributory cause. Immediate cause means this is called as the real or primary cause. Real or primary cause or the first level cause. Okay. So these are called as first level cause. Means if any microorganism like bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and bacteria, virus, fungi and protozoa are responsible for causing any diseases. So they can cause the infectious diseases. So that is the immediate cause. Due to this particular bacteria or virus, if somebody get ill, so that category will be of immediate cause. And few are contributory cause. Contributory cause means these are called as intrinsic or internal factors which are responsible for causing any diseases. Like poor health due to inadequate diet. If a person is having the poor health and he is not getting a proper diet, so this type of disease is called as second level cause of disease. This is called as second level cause of disease. If a person is not getting the balanced diet or proper nourished food, they will get malnutrition. Then they will get malnutrition, and they can suffer from the kwashiorkor disease due to the low protein diet. You heard about the kwashiorkor. So if a person is poor and he is not getting proper diet, or you can say the balanced diet, definitely that person will get malnutrient and he will suffer, that they will cause the second level of cause, that is due to the poor health and inadequate diet. Next, genetic disorders are responsible. Genetic disorders means that a child will suffer since their birth. That they get the genetic diseases that get transferred from the parents to the offspring. And now the lack of public services or poor economic condition. This is the third level cause. Okay, if the proper public services are not there, poverty also contribute the cause of these diseases. And if the proper public services are not enough, economic condition or poverty is there, then that will also lead to the cause of diseases. Okay. So for today, it's up to there only. In the next class, we will study about infectious and non-infectious disease.